like maybe work backwards. Like, what is the real American objective with Venezuela right now? Like, let's say if just to pull Venezuela into the American orbit to have a better control, wouldn't Maduro also make a deal to so that he can stay in power and then be part of the American orbit? Like, I think that is doable. I think Maduro
Maybe he
would
waited too
play
long.
along.
Maybe he waited too long to play along, and this is the punishment. It's like, no. We gave you that chance. You didn't play ball. We're going to the next person. We're going down the roster. You had your chance. You fucked it up. We're going to deal with the bitch instead. All right? She's the real legitimate recognized president of Venezuela. Anyway, we're gonna deal with her. Besides, she'll be more fun to bend over. So,
Yeah,
maybe that's what it's
she
about.
won the Nobel Peace Prize, right? And also, so she's more worthy, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the deal
Didn't
is.
she promise to like move the Israel embassy or the Venezuelan embassy to Jerusalem if she got put in office? Like
Who
one of
knows?
her first acts.
Who knows?
I mean, that's what I heard. I saw a video about it where she said that supposedly, and it's like, well, I mean, that's a nice add-on to the story, but I don't think the whole play on Venezuela is just for that.
Well, and that's the crazy thing about it is it's not the oil, and it may be the drugs, but the drugs aren't the largest component. So what really is the reason? We don't know. We don't know. And I think right now, I think it's actually because
what if you?
I think it's because Maduro pissed off the United States, and they're just not going to tolerate him staying in power. I think that's really what it all boils down to. Is they offered him the chance, and for whatever reason, whatever his reply wasn't good enough and fast enough, and as a result, he's got to go. He's got to go, and no amount of capitulation, no appeasement is going to be enough to tolerate leaving him in place. He's got to go.
Yeah, and think about
he's person non grata.
Trump's personality. If the guy did that, he might not, especially if he's got a willing replacement that will be even better and less tainted. No baggage like Maduro has, so it'll be easier to put her in and prop her up because you won't have to make excuses for their past. Oh, she won the Nobel Peace Prize. You won't have. Well, I know sometimes people fall out of helicopters, but that things happen. You don't have to do that. But I don't know. I mean, what about this? What if it's part of just securing the Western Hemisphere? I mean,
might be
not nefarious, but think about it. You get Venezuela under your control. You've got Brazil or Colombia. And then you've got El Salvador that seems friendly.
Yep.
Maybe you got all the. Well, then you get the pressure. Maybe you can put pressure on Mexico with this dust up with Shine Bomb over time, and then you just kind of take Mexico and Central America from two ends and work it that way. I
mean, we've already got Belize, so
yeah, that's what I'm saying. All the little small countries, you prop them up. Maybe this is just a way to fortify that, and then they could just kind of chip away at the rest of Central America and Mexico.
Maybe it's the aliens. Maybe they're trying to protect the aliens down there in Venezuela.
They got Argentina, so they've got a big chunk right in the middle. So, I mean, Peru might be a little hard, but, I mean, they might come along once they see the rest of the continent. Or most of their neighbors are on board, The Chinese ain't buying that many bananas.
Who knows?
Let's talk about the Epstein files. So they finally signed it. It is really fascinating how you went from the Democrats don't want to talk about it, then Trump don't want to talk about it, then the Democrats insist on talking about it, then Trump just suddenly switch and say, okay, let's release the files. So the latest I saw is that they have sent in the request to the court to release all the evidence that is currently being held by the courts, because I think there is some clash in laws. I think the courts are not willing to release the things because they have requested before.
There's some bullshit. There's like some neocon establishment Republicans I've seen that they're trying to say, they're asking them the question pretty disingenuously, like, well, how could the release of the Epstein files, cause problems for grand juries? It's like, who gives a fuck, dude? The grand juries ain't going to do shit anyway. They're not going to fucking indict anybody. We already know who was on the fucking planes. We got the manifest. I mean, there's testimony by all these girls. People got paid money, I guess, because, she's a lying whore. I didn't fuck her when she was 13, but I paid her $3 million just because I'm a nice guy. It's like, come on. Look at Prince Andrew, all the payouts and shit. It's like, we all know what went on. And it's like, why drag it out? Why
I think both are protecting the same thing. We know Epstein was like linked to, and everyone is trying to
it's
protect
Israel.
that.
I think the biggest thing is Israel and the intelligence community.
And everyone protecting it. That's why both parties are doing it. It's easy.
Or maybe Epstein was a Mossad FBI plant.
I don't think Trump had illegal things done there. I don't personally think, and there's a lot of people think that. I don't think that, but he's covering for someone. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Epstein was a FBI informant, or maybe Trump was. I mean, maybe that's the deal, right? Maybe Epstein was working for Mossad. Yeah. Let's get some crazy conspiracy theories out there, right? There's a crazy conspiracy theory going around that Epstein was working for the Mossad, and that Trump was working for the FBI, and the whole reason he put Epstein in prison is because he was starting to use all that information instead of for political gain, for financial gain. Yeah. I mean,
that makes sense though. That makes sense though.
And the crazy thing is that actually sounds fairly reasonable, doesn't it?
And the other thing too, it might just be really unseemly if people found out what America and its allied intelligence agencies actually do.
What, that we snoop on the whole world?
No, not that we snoop. The types of tactics, they'll sit there and the Russians do this, the Russians do that, or the Chinese do this, and then we find out through the Epstein files that not only do we do the same shit the Russians or the Chinese do, we do even more heinous shit.
You all use small children.
It's not waterboarding if you use diesel.
Let me finish. Like, if it comes out that the CIA actually goes out and gets underage girls and provides, like, it's a whole setup, they're literally trafficking these people to get people turned or, compromise people. I think that might be the problem too, is like all the heinous shit that we do to get sources and turn people and get spies. It's going to be kind of jarring for people that are used to like Tom Clancy and Jack Ryan bullshit on TV or, stuff like that.
I think it's worse than the Tom Clancy one, right? If you read this in the book,
they go out, these CIA guys go out and pick up girls from the club.
Much worse.
Yeah.
Much worse. I think the whole reason they're trying to protect it.
Stories.
Yeah, I think the whole reason they're trying to protect it is because it's going to show how complicit every one of the politicians of every country around the world is. Everybody's dirty. Everybody.
Yeah, and
they're stacked 20 deep, and everybody's got blood or shit on their hands. I think that's what it really is. And the whole reason he's trying to keep a lid on it is because it shows how everybody, not just the sphere of the United States, everybody, East and West, is dirty. And then what?
So this is something that I've been saying, some people don't understand what Trump is doing. I did explain from time to time, Trump may be a bit crazy, but he's not that crazy. Like, he does put national interest first, but imagine you just release everything. It's going to destroy the reputation of the United States, but because now it's getting weaponized. And it's like, okay, since you're going to play this game, then there's no more reason to protect you. We have to remember that Trump actually did not push charges against Hillary Clinton. That actually says a lot. No, they are supposedly no political enemies.
Yep.
No, he clearly can easily take down Hillary Clinton. Easily. The thing is that he think, because he did mention before, he literally said in the interview that it's not nice that you have the former first lady to get imprisoned. No, so he literally said that no, this is actually not good for the image of United States, and I find it understandable, but I don't agree that he should be protecting Hillary Clinton in that sense. But now the political
think
scene
it's
is that
not about
people
answering.
think that he don't dare to do it.
Edward
Then he
Snowden
just-
was right. They were snooping on everybody.
Yeah.
That's why they were. That was
I
why
think
they
it-
were
I
so
don't
willing
think it's about-
to go after Snowden, but they're not willing to go after Clinton because
Yeah.
they're protecting their own and they're going after the whistleblowers. That's what it really comes down to.
And this is just so we don't even talk about Epstein, just purely the Clintons. That would have already so many roots to some crazy shit that like Trump don't even dare to want to like expose because it may create a national crisis. Put it that way. Epstein is another level of it's an international crisis, not just national. So I'm curious what they will come out from it.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's not
don't
just the
think-
United
I don't
States,
think
it's
there's
all
anything
of
that
Europe
can-
and probably most of Asia. And who knows,
But I
maybe it'll
don't
get
think
all the
there's
Middle Eastern
nothing
countries
that will
too.
I don't think there's nothing that will come out of it because everything
Of course
important
not.
will be
When it
exposed. It will be
when it exposes every judge and
secret,
politician, yeah, you're not going to go after everybody because who's going to enforce it? Not the judges and not the politicians because they're part of it. I mean, why did they have to fly one of the Saudi princes
those,
out of
like,
Las
releases-
Vegas the day of that mass shooting? Why was he smuggled out of the country? Well, maybe there's something there they don't want to talk about.
Yeah,
You know,
So, what you said?
oh my god, your Nika is lagging so badly. Like he's also slow by like 3 seconds. Oh no. Yeah, maybe that corner have no reception. You need to change another corner to see it. But I'm this is something
I don't
that
wanna show
okay. This
people
from
the camera.
because
that's why.
I'm not shy to say that I support Trump, right? I really followed Trump for a long time. So
he's
it's just that
the best one we got.
Yeah, and this is something that is my perspective, from as someone who is not American, is that he is really an outsider of the political realm, coming into it and try to fix shit. And he's changing a lot. It's basically, I call it like a revolution right now. There's a political revolution, economic revolution that's under the Trump administration. He's literally really taking on the deep state. He's dismantling them, first removing all the finances, doing through the Doge, closing down the US aid and everything. So he's slowly dismantling, and then on top of that, he's not just doing this. He's also like redoing the whole international framework, the economic framework, because that cannot work anymore. US is going to lose its power. US dollar is going to be de-dollarized, and there will be unclearable debt, and after that there will be hyperinflation because of trying to clear the debt. So all these things, Trump is trying to fight, and I think people really don't understand the amount of crazy shit that he's dealing with right now. And then Republican Party, now is like the whole MAGA movement is now breaking apart because of Charlie Kirk's death. There's no more leader behind the scene holding the things, everyone together. So now everybody is fighting each other. Within the Republican Party and the MAGA movement, everybody is fighting each other. You can see like it's insane. Like every day there's new drama in the Republican side, the right wing, world. Like even the TP USA has, like I was watching Tim Pool. Tim Pool was like saying that TP USA disinvited him because he simply criticized certain things, and then now he just went all out, talking about Charlie Kirk stuff, which Tim Pool previously have resisted from talking about. So now he's talking about all the conspiracy that's currently happening around the weird things that is happening around Charlie Kirk's death. So the whole MAGA movement is now cracking as well. So and then we just have this, the Marjorie Taylor Greene, resigning. After she will resign right after she can get the pension. Like so, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, the world is going crazy. Hey, Nika,
It's just America. Yeah, maybe Ted was eating all the data.
Yeah. He ate all the reception, you know.
No, but it's normal because it's so much politicized and the system is so much corrupted and it's legally corrupted. So normally you will find all of that corruption and that polarization. Like this is the effect of everything. You know, I'm as I said, always I'm not like someone who's into or understand a lot of American politics. Is like the whole continent difficult to understand it very much, but that's the basic things. It's very politicized, politically polarized. And there's a lot of corruption, money with it, and so it's explosive like reaction.
The so because like I say, people may think like disagree because I'm clearly pro Trump, right? But I think that Trump, because he is a billionaire, he cannot be bought, which is the reason why he is the only person is able to de-corrupt United States, to really go after the corruption. But it's also very difficult because he's not a king. Like he don't have absolute powers, and he need to get the right allies into the positions to chase after, like Pam Bondi, all these things. Like even Pam Bondi, a lot of the MAGA people actually don't like her now. So because she had been like holding back seemingly, so we don't not sure is. And then United States is a huge country, generally speaking. Like it's like Xi Jinping trying to fight corruption in China. It's nearly never ending. They have been like sending so many people in jail like over the past 8 years or so, or 10 years, but it never finish. It will never end, because it's a huge country. United States is the same thing. But to me, this is the positive thing, that at least United States is trying to do it to improve the situation. And the more Trump is successful at really reforming CIA, FBI, all these things to become less corrupt, the less crazy shit United States will do overseas. This is what I think. Because the more corrupt it is, that means there's more incentive, financial incentive for the politicians and the CIA people or whatnot to do clandestine operations overseas and fuck shit up. In the Middle East, in Afghanistan, maybe in Southeast Asia as well. So the more, so actually, I feel like people who are anti-US should be supporting Trump, generally speaking. Really recognize what is happening right now, because the alternative is much worse. The alternative is going to be like maybe some Democrats or maybe some rhinos, which is the Republican in name only, where they are still working closely with the deep state to earn money for themselves. And then because they want the money, they will be working with the CIA, with whatever organizations overseas and whatnot to fund money to do crazy shit so that they can actually benefit financially. And then more people is going to die overseas. This is something that I've been waiting for a long time, because I have been looking at the United States for like coming to 20 years, and it's crazy fucking scary. Coming to 20 years, not 20 years. I really started to follow US politics since 9/11. So, but it's really, I think a lot of people who are anti-United States is really not paying attention that whatever happening right now is just not normal. It never happens that United States will ever try to de-corrupt itself. The corruption always only get worse because there is so much money to go around. Yep. This is the first time ever in United States, probably in United States history, where you have the president that's actively trying to take out all these corruption.
I don't see it. I really don't see that.
Of course you don't. You're on the outside.
Oh, but
you're on the
outside.
On
the inside. But White is on the inside. That's what you're saying.
He doesn't hate the United States like you do.
Oh,
he's at least trying to be neutral.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
You could at least admit it.
No,
you don't.
I'm not afraid to admit something I don't. I don't hate. I hate what it do to other countries. Yeah, I want it to be like a bit fair. That's it. Like
someone's got to be the whipping boy of the world.
Yeah, so because my point is this, we cannot, we shouldn't label countries, like, because it's easy to label countries, like like United States, because of the past 20 years or 30 years or even 50 years of shit that United States has been stirring all around the world. Yes, it's easy to hate on the United States. But the thing is, it's always dependent on who is the leader. Like the Russia today is with Putin, but the Russia without Putin will be a totally different Russia.
Sure.
So the Russia today is Trump. And Trump's United States is totally different from the Biden's United States. It's entirely different. It's like a two different country. So we can't run away from the fact that the United States is still the predominant power right now. But we have to celebrate the fact that this president at least is doing something against the deep state. Rather than you have the Biden which literally triggers the Ukraine war. Because Putin has been trying to talk to Biden and say that you can just say one sentence and then reassure Russia, and then Russia will not need to do anything. But Biden refused. So
yeah, but if we compare two crazy people, we will find someone who's more crazy than the other. But doesn't mean that the first one isn't crazy. I'm not like saying Trump.
That's
is
probably
crazy,
why the
but
United States was
he's
willing
done
to
bad things
accept
too.
the president of Syria. Right? You got
Because he was
to
going
choose a
to
person
Russia
you can
too.
deal with.
He was going to Russia. He was going to Russia.
I think that's why Trump is willing to talk to Putin.
The only thing
He sees him as a reasonable human being.
The only thing that I can give to Trump is like he's trying to speak, even if it's like a decoy, but he's trying to speak to other leaders like Putin and stuff. But let's not forget that he used it like as a decoy for Iran and for other countries. So that's that too. He used negotiation,
But
used discussion as a decoy to lure others.
I don't think it was a decoy. I think it's an honest show of faith. President Trump
But
is
I think
willing to
that
talk
is
to anybody.
But I think that is entirely because of Israel. Right? No, because Israel has this
Maybe.
operation to assassinate the negotiators. Because if you look at any other negotiation, Trump didn't kill off the negotiators. The negotiators are killed off by Israel. Israel that decided that they want to do it. So the thing is, Trump just of
And
course
he
play along,
didn't
because
have
he's Trump.
anything to do
Trump always did.
with it. And you are believing that he didn't have to do anything with it. So
Yeah, I
all the
believe it.
bases that were in the area and all the intelligence that the American have, they didn't know that Israelis are going to kill
I think he
people
knew 2 hours
to
before.
Qatar.
You,
That's
no, you
that's a terrible country. That's a terrible military and terrible intelligence. If that's true, that's even worse. I say it's even worse.
Well, what's the
I
alternative?
think no, I think no, I think this is just
No,
a matter
it
of
shows
whether
one of two. Either they know and they use it as a bait and they encourage it. This is bad, but they didn't know that their ally, who they're coordinating everything, who passes like a lot of bases. So your bases are like actually not doing anything. They are not even protecting themselves. What are you guys doing? Why are
Carrot
you
or stick?
spending all those
Carrot or
millions?
stick?
So your military your intelligence is useless. That's why you are telling me Israelis are
no,
more intelligent and
even
more
if you
powerful
know
than you.
you do not
You're not
necessarily
listening,
able to
Mika.
stop. The thing is, that's why I keep saying Israel is its own country. They are a sovereign entity. There is no United States. Yes, is the big brother for Israel. Doesn't mean that they have full control over everything that Israel does. That's what I always have been saying. When Israel sent a fighter jets into
No, I'm not
Qatar,
arguing that.
the
Why? I'm not arguing that.
no, that's what I mean.
They
That's
know.
what I mean. That they you have that's what I mean by United States may not have full control over the operations by Israel. There might be certain elements that on the United States side, they might be supporting Israel, and by the time the information goes to Trump, because Trump is not a god, he don't know everything. He received information, and then certain people might be supporting the Israeli operation because their orders may be to just support Israel, right? And then Israel asks for certain things, the tankers and whatnot. Then the tankers just fly and whatnot. Then Trump was informed that the fighters came. Then he's like, what the
I
fuck?
don't argue.
It could happen like this, We do not
No,
know.
but
The
I
thing
don't
is,
argue. Yeah, I'm with you. It can be like that, but the thing is, attacking a major ally. Don't forget that Qatar has the biggest military
yeah.
base in the Middle East. Let's add that. So Qatar is bombing Qatar, the biggest base of
But
Middle
it's a
East,
stealth fighter.
and the president
That's the problem.
no, but they should know. They must know. Israelis cannot go there without even informing. So you're telling
Yeah,
me
so-
the president of the United States isn't aware of it? This is like, it's too messed up. Either way you are looking into it, it's messed up, and it's something
Yeah,
like
it's
it,
messed up.
it shows America's in a very bad situation.
No, I totally
why
agree.
he obliged.
I totally that there's no. So what I'm trying to say is that it's messed up. Like for real, it's messed up, and you have to put yourself in in the position of you are the Qataris. If you know that this is gonna come, you don't scramble your fighters. It's a geopolitical nightmare. It's not just for United States. It's geopolitical nightmare for Qatar as well.
No,
that's why I say.
It's a nightmare for Qatar. I've been there. For Qatar, it's a nightmare.
That's why I say.
Like,
that's why I say it's not
catastrophe.
a. That's why this is the reason why I say United States may not. There's a good chance that they are not involved, and they were informed very late. There's a high chance that's the case because if you are Trump, why would you want to accept this kind of operation where it messed up your whole geopolitical situation? Like it
That's
makes diplomacy
That's why he got so
impossible.
pissed off at Netanyahu.
Yeah.
That's
He got
what I'm
pissed off
saying.
about it.
You
He's
cannot
like, it's
control-
not what we talked about. You guys did it. You guys did it. I found out about it as it was happening, as the thing was en route, and I got pissed off. And that's the whole reason why Trump completely changed his position on Israel tearing the shit out of Gaza.
Because you have
That's
to
the whole
you have to
reason.
you have to put yourself into position. Let's say you're Netanyahu and you have planned this operation. Would you dare to tell Trump? Trump is
No,
not
because
under
Daddy's going to be
Netanyahu's control.
pissed.
He's not.
He's going to be pissed.
So the thing
Right?
is, they may have done the operation entirely in
make him
secret.
weak.
They may have
They
certain
make him-
people do.
Listen. In my opinion, whether Trump know it or not, it's a bad image for Trump. For
it's
the
not.
whole system. It is extremely bad image.
Trump have to now because of this incident. Now United States have to officially guarantee Qatar's sovereignty.
Yes.
So that means they have to. It's now a protectorate of United States. They now gave them enhanced military cooperation. They allowed a squadron or two to be deployed in United States for training, just like in Singapore. So they're actually sharing the same base as the Singapore Air Force. So this is the measures by Trump to do damage control. It's really not worth it to try to kill off a few Hamas people.
Agree.
Because you can just send in assassins and whatnot. The thing is, this is why I feel like it's not.
They wanted to do it. The way they wanted to do it? They wanted to do it publicly because Israel was known to do it like the undercover stuff, but they wanted to have a message or something. I don't know. It is a crazy
I think it's an
situation.
Israeli thing. That's why it's not an American thing.
Yeah.
I think it's an
but
Israeli thing.
That's a bad in itself. That's bad. In itself, that's bad. You cannot control your puppets or the puppets. You see, it's very, very.
Of course,
It also could have
because
been they were playing good cop, bad cop.
Exactly. That's why I say Trump can't control. That's why I say Trump cannot necessarily control fully Israel because Israel has always
they're
been
off the
kind of
reservation,
country.
right?
They're always
wild
doing
Indians.
bullshit.
I think they can, but he can. Politically, he cannot. But they have all the tools to really control
of course. It will be the same as the Ukrainian situation where you can't just cut off everything and let them die. Like I understand.
Exactly.
The thing is, geopolitically, they also can't do that because
why Israelis
it's your ally.
No, but why Israelis doing what they are doing? Because they are protected by the Americans. They are protected in the.
You're just
United
jealous
Nations
you're not
and
as protected as Israel. That's what it really boils down to, isn't it, Nika?
He's in
I don't-
Canada.
You're just
right?
jealous.
So it doesn't matter. He's Canadian.
I don't respond to you.
They're
I don't
already
respond
protected
to
by the
things.
Americans.
Yeah.
I know, but Americans want me to be American too.
Well,
I don't
Canada
want,
only
like,
exists
to be-
because
to be-
the United States protects it.
Whatever. I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Really, he gives
I
me
think I'm done,
a headache.
Wyatt. You and Nika can have it. You talk to the idiot.
Yeah. That's one thing that I wanted to talk about, but Ted wasn't like stop talking. The tourniquet, you know that they don't do it anymore. Just to be to the tourniquet to stop bleeding. Now even in CPR drills, they don't teach it anymore. It leads too much to cut the limb more than anything else. So you can stop the bleeding by putting a pressure, a lot of colds or something, and putting a pressure. That's it. Just like information for everyone, just to be aware. The tourniquet was like shown that can lead a lot to cutting the limb and not like yeah, it can cut the bleeding, but it can injure in the same way, injure more the limb. Anyway, that's just something I remembered before. Just wanted to share with everyone.
Yeah, so that was just the video where I talk about the Saudi crown prince visit United States. So that is my opinion. Where I think United States has already pivoted, like at least under Trump, the foreign policy has changed. That means instead of putting Israel as the front and center of their Middle East strategy, they have moved like officially to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is now the crown jewel of the control of Middle East for United States. It's no longer Israel. I think Israel is just way too much trouble for United States right now, and
it is.
And their foreign
I
policy
don't understand
is,
why they are doing it.
Yeah, because
it's
Israel
more
has
a liability than it cannot even protect itself. It cannot import anything. Yeah, but the way why Israel is powerful? Because America is supporting it. So why don't you support something more stable? It can give you more benefits and like not supporting it that much, Because Israel isn't a stable country. It's like in a very, very, very hostile area. No. Like you see a lot of the surrounding countries like Egypt, Jordan are like second to Israel because they know if they suck to Israel, they can suck to America. And
I think
the population is very, very.
We're going to talk oil.
No, I think the main difference is because Saudi Arabia under Crown Prince decided to reform Saudi Arabia to be more modern and not follow this the Salafis or this crazy more extreme ideology of Islam, and that creates the ideal place for United States to secure the region. I think when Saudi Arabia still have that Wahhabis,
it's even about that. It's not even about that, man. You see the ideology of the Israelis are more crazier.
Yeah. That's beside the point. I'm just saying that Saudi Arabia. I'm just saying if you have Saudi Arabia that is supporting Wahhabism, of course the CIA is also grooming that, right? I understand. CIA was like a rebel state within the United States. But the thing is that when Saudi Arabia was exporting Wahhabism, I think it makes natural sense to support Israel as the center of the stability. But the moment when Saudi Arabia reform away the Wahhabis, I think that naturally brings Saudi Arabia into the forefront, into the center, because firstly they're very huge, they're in the center, and they have their reach. And they have way better foreign policy right now. If you see Saudi Arabia, they're friendly with literally everybody. They do not impose their military on anyone anymore. They did try on the Houthis, it didn't work, and they realized that fuck it, let's not bother, let's just talk, and it works. So for Trump, he has been dealing with Israel for a long time, since the first term. I think over time he realized that it's just not worth the trouble. He had been building this relationship with Mohammed bin Salman, and he realized that this is great. And this country actually, buys a lot. They buys a lot of military stuff, support Trump's plans. He's going to invest over $1 trillion across the next few years.
And as I said, it is a natural place, even if I don't agree with the governments there, and I think they sucks all of them, but at least it's more organic country, more like they cannot they don't need to support it as they are supporting Israelis. They are not as crazy, they're not as aggressive, and it's more stable for them to support it. They can benefit more with the Saudis or the Egyptians than what they are doing with the Israelis. It have lesser negative aspect to it. You see, all the hatred. Let me be clear to everyone, even that all the hatred that the Americans get from the Arabs, at least, it's because of Israel. That's 100% sure. And all their intervention is to protect the Israelis. Let's say it like for
Let's
Iraq
talk
and
oil.
other stuff.
Don't you ever want to talk about anything other than Israel, Nika? Ever?
I didn't bring that topic.
Look,
I
there's
didn't
all
bring
kinds
that
of
topic.
questions in the comment section.
didn't-
Apparently,
I didn't
no one
bring
wants
that
to listen
topic.
to you talk about Israel. They're wanting to talk
I
about
don't care
oil.
about you. I don't care about them.
No,
They can be here
wait,
and
wait,
change
talking
the
about
topic.
Well, they're
I wanna
the
add-
They
people
can come
watching.
here and change the topic. They can't come here and change the topic.
No, I want to add a point about the Saudi Arabia
didn't-
thing also as well. So
I didn't bring the Israelis. It was White who was talking about Saudi Arabia and the geopolitics, and they can replace
so
Israelis. By the way,
no, but it's true because now what? Okay, my perception of Israel, before October, is it October 7 or October 6? I can't even remember which date is it. So before and after has totally changed.
the 7th.
Israel went from the vanguard into bringing the peace to Middle East. That means everybody now works with Israel and let's bring peace to the region. That was before that was the first term. Now Israel is just like has degraded to the point where I think in the vision of the grand macro view of the Americans, Israel is now the problem child. You understand what I mean? Like before that they were like the centerpiece. Now they're like the problem child. Like you now have to deal with this problem child. Everybody is playing ball. The whole of the Arab world, they welcome Trump. Trump is the front and center. They welcome him. They clap. Everybody stand behind him like idiots like that. Then they sign a peace deal together. Everybody's happy. But Israel is not there. Israel is not even welcome there. They are now this problem child where like now instead of working with them, they're just like cleaning up after them, and that is a very sad state for Israel. Like they messed up the whole thing. They are supposedly originally the victims of October 7. Somehow they turned the victimhood into some kind of a disaster. So I just want to say that the geopolitical world around Middle East have changed entirely, and I think it's a much more better one. It's a much more positive one. It's not matter because of Israel is not so good or whatnot. It's just the rest of the Arab world has suddenly all worked together and willing to work with the United States. And
still not like that much. There is change, yes, but I don't see it as rosy because it's messed up in the leadership.
For me, it's pretty rosy. Okay, so but from my perspective, it looks really rosy because it's as good as it ever was. The thing is, it was never this good. Like historically speaking, the past 100 years, it was never this good. So it's as good as it gets for now. And I think that if Gaza situation is resolved with the help of the Arab League, together with the United States and because the plan from what I read is that they're going to give back the sovereignty to the Gazans. So that's what I understand from the deal. The deal was that eventually they will get independence or their own self-government.
That's bullshit.
No, there will be a process. You see, there will be a process. You have no choice. So eventually, at least that's part of the roadmap. So that's not bad if they ever reach there. So it's good. So I think, and I think the Houthis. Maybe Yemen was split into two. Maybe they will split the country into two so that they can stop fighting. Maybe I think that would be a good plan.
But just for your information, it was split even before. Before it wasn't like one country. They were like forced to join in one country by the Egyptian, by Arab coalitions.
But the Egyptian is weak now, so it doesn't matter about it.
No, but it wasn't before. There's like two regions. Two separated like in two regions before. There wasn't like one united.
They're separated by the big desert, right? No, it's one is on the eastern side, no, it's on the western side in the mountains.
There is no big desert there. There is no big desert, but it's a very mountainous area, and
doesn't have any oil. Doesn't have any oil.
So, but as I told you, it's like the whole region is artificially created, but Oil. Let's let Ted speak about oil, please. Let's enjoy the speaking about oil. Let's see what he will
Yeah, Ted,
enlighten
speak
us.
about oil. Yeah, actually, I love to listen to Ted talk about oil because no, I think he really knows about the industry much better.
I know a thing or two
normal.
about black gold. Yeah. Yeah. So, a lot of this has to do with oil. A lot of people think the whole Venezuela thing is about oil. I don't particularly think so, but the production is going to go way, way up, and that might even drive the price of oil down, which doesn't help the domestic oil market. So, does that undermine the Saudis and the rest of the Middle East if they're not talking about oil? Because they're trying to transition their entire society away from oil, and that's where all their money comes from. So, what does that change the geopolitical landscape if the Middle East is no longer getting the majority of their money from oil? If the conflict's not about getting oil out of the ground, whether it's on land or in sea, what are they going to fight over? Because they've never known peace. So if they don't have the excuse of war with their neighbors, what's their excuse going to be to fight over? Because right now they use oil, and that's just an absolutely inane excuse. And let's face it, producing more oil in Venezuela does not help the U.S. economy. That will drive down the price of oil. And although everybody thinks cheap oil is good for the nation, it's only good for the consumer. It's actually not good for the nation. So, if you're talking about oil, somewhere around $60, $70 a barrel, 77, some people are saying that the stuff coming out of the Permian Basin can't break even at 65 at this, the current rate of the US dollar. So, you've got heavy bunker oil coming out of Venezuela that's being sold around $30, $35 a barrel. So that hurts everybody. That hurts the United States. That hurts Saudi Arabia. It doesn't help Venezuela unless the production is just so insane that there's all of a sudden a lot of money, but they're making more money from everything else than oil. That's why they haven't been producing a whole bunch of it.
How much is the baseline for like stable oil production around the world and everybody is making okay money?
Well, it depends on who you are and where you're at in the world, but in the United States, most people say that's somewhere around $65, $70 a barrel. There are a lot of producers that are really, really lean that can make money at $35, $40 a barrel, but they're not making much. They're just breaking even, and no one's doing a bunch of exploration. That's why no one's talking about all this oil production up there in Anwar, right? Up there on the top of Alaska, right? It was all closed down during Obama. It was opened back up in Trump 45. Biden killed it again in 46, and now it's open again. And why is no one touching it? Well, two reasons, right? One, oil prices are down, and two, no one's really certain that they'll have enough time to get in there and get it developed before it's all shut down by the next administration, right? So why would you take the political risk? You're talking about developing all the infrastructure. And I know a lot of people have heard me beat the dead horse to death about infrastructure, but the infrastructure is what is expensive, right? Oil production isn't expensive per se. I mean, yes, it has lots of costs, but you got to get it out of the ground, right? You got to get it out of the ground, and then once you get it out of the ground, what are you going to do with it? Unless you're right there next to the ocean, you can't just put it straight into tankers. So you've got to have infrastructure. You got to process it. You got to take the water out of it. If it's sour gas like coming out of Venezuela, you either got to transport dirty oil or you got to clean it up before you transport it.
But what make it even expensive is not only the extraction; it's this research. The money that you will expend to find the actual profitable oil deposits.
Exploration.
That's what make it. Yeah, the exploration is what make it even expensive.
But the infrastructure is even more expensive. right?
Yeah, but
I mean,
we need to
exploration
take,
is a lot
because
cheaper now than it ever. Exploration is cheaper now than it ever has been, right? With the technologies we have and the modeling we have and our understanding of geography and geology, exploration costs are a whole lot lower than they used to be.
true,
Same way
but
with drilling.
true, but all the easy, accessible wells and deposits are like found, and you need more research and more like more technology heavy equipment to find the difficult ones, the hidden ones, let's say. That's why I think it's the research that take a bit of the money, and there's of course the equipment, the extraction, and the transformation.
Look, there's oil wells over 100 years old that are still producing oil, and with horizontal drilling and fracking, you can go back in there and rework those wells, and all of a sudden you're getting more and more oil from wells that were drilled over 100 years ago, right? And your
Yeah, but it
exploration
needs to be
costs,
profitable.
and there's no exploration
Don't
costs.
forget.
You already know where it is, right?
Yeah.
So the
But
big
as I said,
expense is the stability of a country, because that costs money to buy stability, and the other one's infrastructure, right? And if a country's not stable, people don't want to develop oil there, right? I mean, that's the whole reason why no one's developed all these oil producing zones off of Africa or on Africa, because the political stability isn't there and people aren't worth taking the risk, right? All these places that nationalize their oil reserves, right? Whether you're talking about Algeria with the natural gas, where they stole it from the French, or if you're talking about down there in Nigeria or one of those other piece of shit third
Algerians
world countries.
stole what from the French?
No, that's Algeria, dude. Keep up.
Stole what? Stole what?
The oil producing stuff, the extractions, just like Iran, right? You had British Petroleum, Dutch Petroleum. You had the United
don't
States
forget the
down
history.
there.
Yeah, they didn't choose to be invaded. Anyway.
The whole reason those countries are developed is because someone else was willing to take the risk, both politically and economically, to develop that. It's a two-way street, Nika. It's a two-way street. Is it exploitation? Yes, it is exploitation.
Yeah.
Is it an
Yeah,
economic
it is
investment? Yes, it is an investment. Who else was willing to invest that? Who else had the money to invest? It wasn't a bunch of those fucking raghead. It wasn't a bunch of those raghead locals, right? Someone had to go in there.
No. That's a bullshit. That's a bullshit excuse.
It wasn't a bunch of camel. It wasn't a bunch of camel riders that had the money to fund that kind of drilling.
Yeah.
British Petroleum, Dutch Oil, all those places.
No
right?
one asked you. No one asked you.
Well, someone's got to take the risk.
Stealing. No,
it's not stealing. It's called development in the 21st century, the 20th and 21st
going
century.
to your house and using your stuff is stealing.
It wasn't stuff. There wasn't anything there. Someone lived in the local area, and someone showed up and said, "Hey, we're going to drill these oil wells, and they're going to be
giving excuses to the thieves."
Oh my goodness,
Stop giving excuses to thieves.
Oh my goodness.
That's theft.
You're the kind of person. You're the kind of person that wants to nationalize someone else's risk and development, and then call it.
If it's not yours from the start, it's theft.
It was British Petroleum's when they started.
No.
It wasn't even hardly an organized country. It was a region with a bunch of nomadic people wandering around.
That's your retarded idea. I don't care about your retarded idea, but it's not theirs from the first place. So if I go to someone's land and build something there, I go to your land or your house and settle there and use your water and your electricity, then it's mine.
There wasn't anything developed there, Nika. We're not talking about groundwater. Oil is from the ground. You've got to bring in equipment.
Whose ground?
You've got to. Well, it
Stop
damn
it.
sure
Stop-
all that
stop
drilling equipment
giving
was
thieves-
brought in. Oh my goodness.
Stop giving thieves
Okay.
excuses.
You know what, Wyatt? I can't have a conversation like this.
Yes.
Later. Bye.
Upgrade. Hi, upgrade.
I make him rage quit, man.
You came in just in time for Nika chasing away Mr. Ted.
What happened?
Hi,
Yeah,
upgrade.
because Nika refused to agree that foreign company going to a country to invest and drill and work
I didn't
together
say that.
is a form of stealing.
No, I
But that's
didn't
my
say that.
interpretation.
He was talking about Algerian stealing France because France invaded Algeria and take their gas. He was like upset because Algeria take back their gas
Okay.
because therefore they got invaded. Yeah, this is his idea. I didn't talk about international companies who agree with a certain country
So you
to
two are
dig up
like
oil.
on totally different frequency then, because he's trying to explain something else. Then
No.
you're talking
He
about
was
Algeria.
saying, yeah, Algeria, because Algeria was colonized, and when French withdraw because of the war, they went away, and Algeria nationalized the equipment that were there because they were colonized. But I'm not talking about a sovereign country who give contracts to other international oil companies and invest in it. No, I will totally disagree if you nationalize that. Of course, I'm talking about that cases, African cases, for example.
Okay. And that's why you left?
Yes,
He gave
he
up.
wasn't
Ted was trying to explain, some oil stuff. Then he gave up trying to talk to Nika.
Give up.
no, he cannot support someone else have a different idea. No? I think that's why. He could have say, okay, we disagree and continue, but he refused to say that.
Okay. That's weird. But what can you do?
Yeah, American. When they cannot bomb you, they will gaslight you. They will rage quit. This is American spirit for you. No, but anyway.
Okay.
Upgrade. What is the biggest thing happening in your mind the past week?
I was doing some business deals, so I had a lot of work, that's why I didn't came last
Nothing
week.
is happening. Don't worry.
Okay.
In your world, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening.
I mean, France selling 100 Rafales to Ukraine, who are not even able to pay any of them, but that
100, I think, or more.
100, yeah, I read the news. I was
That's
like,
crazy, man.
with which
That's
money
crazy.
do they pay this shit? Oh, that's our money. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, French taxpayer. The French
It's up
taxpayer is paying
your
for it.
money. No, the
That's
audacity, man. The audacity. And they will be even stronger than Britain's Air Force. Or I think they will be even stronger than the British Air Force if they bought that.
Yeah, not even India bought 100 of them. So
Which money? They
No,
don't have
but
money. They wanted to buy
no,
Swedish.
not even the money. The airplanes are not there. They need at least 20 years to be ready, man. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, and they also signed contract with the Swedes, right? I think also for some.
yeah, the
work.
Gripen 100, 150. But I think
Gripen.
these
How
are
they
all
will do that? How would they
MOUs.
pay for it?
It's
What
all
the hell?
MOUs. Nothing is confirmed.
Crazy.
Nothing is confirmed.
What do you
Just
mean?
talk.
Was a
Just talk.
contract signed? No.
I think it's all nothing is confirmed. I think it's just no PR stunts. I think it's because I think it's all depend on they can settle the financing or not. Both for the Gripen and the Rafale, I think it's both the same problem. They need to find out where the money is going to come from first. So they just sign the deal. Yeah, horror, 100 planes, and then after that they was okay. Let's see how do we finance it. I think that's how it works. It's not a firm treaty, if I'm not wrong. I don't think it's a firm treaty. I don't think it's a firm contract. I think it's just like a MOU.
I don't think
kind of thing.
so. Yeah, I don't think so. But they need to give the money first. There's no money. Even the Russian money isn't like enough to pay off. I don't think it will be enough to pay all of those, even the Russian assets.
Oh, by the
The
way,
thing
what do you
is,
think about the plan, about the 28 points plan? Did you discuss it already or not?
we
A
have
bit
somewhat
because
discussed it, but
a
none
bit,
of us
but
have read very carefully about it, I think.
yeah. Did you have any information about it? Like, did you read something about it?
I think like why not, right? Why not? It can be a middle ground, a starting to have the real peace deal, like constructed, like you bring some points forward, right? It's like a business deal, right? You bring your points forward and then you negotiate on the table what is acceptable for each party, right? And for me, I see some points which are for sure unacceptable for the Russians, some of them who are unacceptable for the Ukrainians. So there is still a lot of, things to be checked and to read
Yeah,
done.
but that's what negotiation is for, to adjust and to
Exactly,
have a middle
exactly,
ground.
exactly. But like I said, I don't think, because I wrote it in the WhatsApp group, right, which we are all in. I don't think Putin will accept it, and also Zelensky not. That's something which was brought up by Trump, and he's gonna check if it's possible or not. And even when he was with Mandani, which I actually was very positive about when I heard him speak. He brought up also Ukraine again, right? And he said that Zelensky has to give up something, right? He's never giving up anything, and he's here always asking more and more, and even he said by himself, right? Zelensky addressed the nation, and he said we're gonna have a tough decision to make, either to lose one big partner, and obviously it was USA, right, and not Europe in this case, or we're gonna have to deal with this 28 points plan. So let's see what's going to happen. But it's something, at least, in the orbit, of trying to find a solution to this horrible conflict, right?
But you think the Ukrainian will accept that, in your
No,
opinion?
like I said, no.
I do
Neither.
think it's like they will bluff a bit and they will not accept it. Yeah, I think they are too proud to accept that. They're too deep into the scams and the enrichment, and they would be killed by the population if they accept that.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I just see that right now the front line is moving on the Russian side, and more they take, more they're going to be hard to negotiate it with. It's always been my take, and it's still going to be the take in 2 months or 1 year if the war is still not over. So Zelensky also has problems with internal politics, right, with corruption scandals and stuff like that, which are also talked about, and is definitely not helping his case. So I don't know, it's very difficult to find a solution to this conflict, because both are very hard on their points, what they want, and it's very difficult for the US to find a solution to this problem, because the Ukrainians still have the European backing, even if they for sure also know that it's not a winnable war. But they're still here and backing the Ukrainians. So until the Europeans are not with the Americans, nothing will be done, I think so.
The solution is to fight it out to the end.
Sure. Yeah, it's going to be fighting out. It's going to be like that.
Super chat by NGS. Mental breakdown in Europe because of 28 points.
Can I ask what, like, I haven't really looked into that thing with the Ukrainian peace plan, but has anything changed? Like, what's new with it, really? Because as far as I could tell, like, it was basically, I just skimmed really quickly over it, but it looked really like the same thing that's been offered before, never went anywhere. Offered before there again, never gone anywhere. Yeah,
I mean, the recognition
but still, it's interesting to note, like, on the
Donbass, right? The recognition of Crimea and Donbass, right? That's something which the Russian wants, and that would be one big part of their, wishes, to be recognized land on the Russian rule, right? Because if it's not,
But is that like as far as I understood it, the Ukrainians was not really that involved in the negotiations. Like it struck me as a little bit similar to like this so-called peace deal with Hamas, right? The deal there was not something Hamas could really politically accept, and they were not even a part in the negotiations. That's why they came afterwards, right? So you could already tell that's not going to be working. And this one looks pretty similar. Ukrainians were not really involved in this one either. And have they actually accepted for ceding the Donbass? Because like I find it a little bit interesting, like the arms industry around Europe, for example. I thought first it was just Norway because it's having some corrections, but seems to be across all of Europe where the whole week they had a pretty noticeable, like very noticeable slump in correction on top of previous corrections. And like many commented, I don't know how reliable these are, but many of the commenters of people who were invested in these, they were worried about this peace deal actually being working out. But I'm like, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? Like, where is this so-called peace deal? Like the Donbass, for example, being conceded. Have the Ukrainians all of a sudden said that now they're okay with it? I haven't heard any such thing.
yeah, but they don't need to be to agree, right? It's like a fait accompli, right? Trump puts it on the table and says, if you don't sign it, then we're out. Basically.
But one thing, they didn't even consult the Russians. They didn't consult neither the Russians or the Ukrainians.
Apparently, Putin has it.
Right,
Apparently, Putin has it, so they send it, and they talked about sending generals to Moscow, to talk about it even more. So there's something going on, right? It's not like the Russians are not involved at all.
And do I remember correctly that part of that was that the front lines, like the Russians would get the parts of the Kherson and Zaporozhye that have been conquered so far? And are the Russians okay with that? Because, for example, with Zaporozhye, they actually lack the most notable city. They only have the rural areas mostly. And the same goes with Kherson. They actually don't have the main city. Of course, territorially, when it comes to geography and so forth, they're still way better off. Like the Kherson, having the Dnieper River between, like not having the city of Kherson, and likewise with the city of Zaporozhye may be an advantage, like in the long run, because if they were to be holding this area, they would be sort of like the same kind of liability to the Russians as Pokrovsk was to the Ukrainians and Bakhmut. Like they would be like they're doomed to become salients that are incredibly expensive and difficult to hold. And you have to turn it into a fortress city, which is going to be taxing even for you as a defender. So it's if the Russians were to draw the line, but I'm not sure because the Russians seem to be taking, they're struggling a bit economically, understandably after a while. And while they have had advances, they haven't had all that much advances. I mean, that's not to say that NATO has really been committing all that much. They have spent 3 times the annual defense budget of the entire Russian Federation. And Russia is and that's not just the Ukraine, that's the whole military after the expansion, right? What does NATO have to show for it? I mean, they have still lost territory. So I understand these as coping projections from the pro-NATO side. But there's some validity to that argument, though. The Russians, while they have had steady advancements, they haven't really gotten that far, though.
I have a question. I don't know. As I said, I don't think white know the answer to because we didn't do our homework good enough. But is there any political part in this 28 deal? Is there any political change in the Ukrainian structure or something mention that?
I didn't quite get what if in the 28.
In the points, right? They'll be allowed to join the EU, so it's still the same thing. It's actually a lot of things is very similar to the previous plans. It's just I think the only main thing is that there is some kind of concession, I think, from the Russian side, which is not taking the whole of Zaporizhia, not taking the whole of Kherson. They freeze the front line where it is right now, for the Kherson and the Zaporizhia region. So But there is other things like the limitation of the Ukrainian armed forces. The number still looks very big, like 600,000. So that's according to Visegrad's
What?
version.
600? It's a limitation? Damn.
Yeah, that's the limitation.
But I got
Damn.
another number. I got like 300,000.
Yeah, so as I say, it's a Visegrad version.
There are many different 28 points, or because I got another points, with 300,000 minimum. I don't
So
know.
let me end US super chat. Russia wants Ukraine and EU to say no to Trump's deal.
I think
Well,
so.
This is actually
was
a
about to
concession
say
already.
yes.
So
I was about to say yes because, as far as I can tell, of the three main objectives that the Russians had, right? Demilitarization, denazification, and I forgot what the third one was at the moment. But I said in the terms there that there was going to be a
I think the
change and
language. The language.
demilitarization.
I think the third one is the language and the cultural aspect.
Okay, I thought I went under the denazification thing, but still, like if that's not a part of the peace deal, then arguably that's also like a limited or marginal defeat for Russia. You haven't achieved your main objective. A decisive defeat or victory, right? Is you get across all or nothing, right? But this is like somewhat in between. The Ukrainians are certainly gotten on the loss, but they haven't lost it completely. Many of us have already projected they were just going to become a complete rump state. But with Odessa still there, Ukraine can still remain relevant, albeit beaten. So, yeah, would the Russians accept that? If they because they would still have Ukraine there. If they still have the regime, and they still have all the if they haven't managed to achieve all the others, then the Russians have lost in a sense, right? Like they haven't lost.
That's why I asked about the political, the regime aspect, the political aspect, because I think the Russians think it's more important than the territory itself. That's what's more important. That's why they took the territory in the first place.
I mean, they have plenty of territory, so why would they? That's not really a main priority. I would agree with that too. That you're muted, Nika.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. It's the territory is like a price to pay. The Ukrainian paid the price of the territory because they messed up politically. It's all about the threat that Ukrainian can. I don't think with these points, as I understood them, they can guarantee that threat isn't there anymore.
But have there were what was it, like 2 months ago or so? The Ukrainians had successfully struck some oil fields, and if not incapacitated, then limited the production severely enough for the Russians to admit that it was at least potentially a strategic threat.
They said 30%, which is
right.
false.
That's quite notable when you also consider that's one of the main, not only main financial incomes revenues for Russia, but we're talking about a large industrial and technologically advanced nation after all. If they start having problems with their oil, like a severe enough problem, that's going to ripple throughout everything in their society. I don't think the Russians are going to be all that easy for them to be importing, for example, even if only temporary. So, but how effective? But if it's 30%, that's actually that's more than I would have expected from the Ukrainians. I mean, Russia is immense, and what was it? They had struck in. They had struck the furthest one that they had struck eastwards was. It was north of the Caucasus somewhere, wasn't it? Like it's close because that's where one of those bigger oil fields for the Russians are. Hey, upgrade.
Yeah, obviously they